Welcome everyone, you're watching David, and today I want to talk about my patron saint, Saint David Komnenos. Today is his feast day. November 1st is his feast day, where we celebrate his martyrdom. May it be an example for us all. His canonization was reconfirmed in 2013 by the Ecumenical Patriarchate, and I say reconfirmed because he was considered to be a saint beforehand. It's just that we kind of discovered or rediscovered, I think that's a better term, we rediscovered records of him being canonized and considered as a saint in Synaxarians and whatnot. So who is Saint David Komnenos? Why do I not know? Who is this person? Who is this guy? He was a saint. He was a martyr who was martyred in 1463, November 1st. And he was the last Roman emperor. He was the last emperor of the Empire of Trebizond. To understand what the Empire of Trebizond even is, we need to go to the 13th century. After the Fourth Crusade, when the Latins took over Constantinople, the Roman Empire, what people call, I refer to the so-called Byzantine Empire as the Roman Empire, because it is. The Roman Empire was split into a couple of successor states. You had several Roman successor states. One of them was the Empire of Nicaea, the Kingdom of Nicaea, which ended up taking Constantinople back, in which they were recognized as the Roman Empire. But there were also states like Epirus. There were states like, I believe, Theodorasat of Crimea, which was mostly, by the way, Gothic, so Germanic. It was the citizens were mostly, from what I remember, Germanic, but they were like Germanic Orthodox Christians in the south of Crimea, which had its ruler class being Greeks. Sounds very interesting, but we can talk about it in a different video. And then you had the Empire of Trebizond. So a lot of these succession states popped up, and after the Nicaean Empire got Constantinople back, these successor states still existed, right? Some of them were conquered by the Roman Empire, and the Empire of Trebizond again existed until 1461. And so after Constantinople fell, there was still a Roman remnant state that existed, and Saint David Komnenos was its emperor from 1459 to 1461. Now, the state of the Empire of Trebizond was kind of simple and very depressing. It was not a matter of if, it was a matter of when. And most people were expecting to be conquered. It was just, when are we just going to get conquered? When are we going to have to defend our country? And they try to prolong their survival by allying with, having good relations with Georgia, having good relations with other Turkish states. We need to remember that the Ottoman Empire was consolidating its power rapidly. You historically had Turkish rival states that tried to stop the growth of the Ottoman Empire, but we were talking about a parabolic growth here, and no one was expecting to make it out of here alive. If you're if a very small city state and not a lot of people, and the time came in 1461, the Ottoman Empire conquered Trebizond. But in what manner was it conquered? Was it defended like we see in a some people, they love the story of Constantinople and how it was defended. Was it defended like that? No, actually, it was just after a month, Saint David Komnenos just surrendered the city, because there was just no point defending it. If you just defend it, you will just give them more of a reason to plunder the city, to kill more people. And as an emperor who's supposed to defend his people, this was the only course of action that he saw himself taking. So Saint David still lived for 2 more years, from 1461 to 1463, in Edirne. But because it's kind of the custom to just not, if the emperor surrenders, there's kind of just, it's not really a diplomatically sound move to kill the emperor after he surrenders to you. And your people won't really look at you in a nice way if you did something like that. But for the Sultan, keeping Saint David alive was a problem, because he's part of a dynasty that was a member of the Roman political class. 1 weak moment of the Ottoman Empire and What if this guy just decides to take over the empire? What if he decided to take over the Ottoman Empire? What will happen then, right? What will happen then? So, a letter was forged where supposedly Saint David said, "Oh, we're going to take over the Ottomans. We're going to take back Constantinople, just so he can be incarcerated." And that's precisely what happened to Saint David Komnenos. I will be putting this post in the description below. I think this excellently summarizes and explains with historical data the story of Saint David Komnenos and how he was canonized and why he was canonized. And so on the 26th of March, this was from an anonymous Synaxarian, on the 26th of March of the 11th indiction in the year 1463, on a most bitter Saturday at the third hour, our Holy Master and King of Trebizond, Lord David the Great Komnenos, was incarcerated in the Tower of Edirne in chains. On November 1st, a Sunday, in the fourth hour of the night, he was executed by sword together with his 3 sons and his nephew in the year 1463 with the 12th indiction in Constantinople. Now, what led him to that execution, right? I mean, it seems like he just got killed. Why would we call him a martyr for that? Well, it is because before his execution, he appeared before the Sultan, who gave him 2 choices. Either convert to Islam and stay alive, be part of the political class of the Ottoman Empire, and so on and so forth, or die. And Saint David replied, "No torture is going to bring me to the point of renouncing the fate of my fathers." And this is exactly why he and his 3 sons and his nephew Alexios, they are considered to be martyrs. So it's not just Saint David, but it's also his nephews and his son. His sons and his nephew. And I wanna kind of talk about something additional here. A lot of people, again, they talk about Constantine Palaiologos, the last Roman emperor, and a lot of people kind of try to glorify him and so much. But I think the fact that Saint David is very much largely ignored and Constantine Palaiologos is so glorified is a farce. It's an absolute farce. And it's a farce because it shows the priority of Orthodox Christians, where they prioritize the glory of the Roman Empire instead of the Orthodox faith. Saint David Komnenos, unlike Constantine, was a martyr. He never betrayed his faith. He never apostatized. I know some people challenge the idea that Constantine was an apostate. I don't buy that. I personally don't buy that. If he wasn't an apostate, he would politically overturn the so-called Union Council of Florence. To my knowledge, he didn't. It officially happened in 1484 because of the Constantinopolitan Patriarchate. Even though the people of Constantinople rejected it. Anyways, that's a different topic. I don't see Constantine as a hero other than maybe he's an ethnic martyr, and that's kind of what Greek historians like Savas Ioannidis say, is that the Greeks to their honor boast of 2 emperors, one who died bravely fighting for his country, Constantine Palaiologos, and one who was martyred for his faith, David the Great Komnenos, the last emperor of Trebizond. He then continues, so there are 2 elements to the national existence of all Hellenism, which are faith in the homeland and religion. Divine providence has contributed to this with Constantine as a leader and hero of Hellenism, and David as a leader and hero of Christianity. So Saint David is a very important saint. Even for the Greek people, he is indeed a very important saint. And that's kind of the aim of this video, is to let people know of how great of a saint he is, spreading the word, and so that we can ask for his prayers and intercessions of this great martyr and saint in our journey living in the Orthodox faith. So that's the purpose of this video and what I wanted to do. May Saint David the Great Komnenos, whose feast day is celebrated today, November 1st, may he pray for us all Orthodox Christians, and may this glorious martyr of the Orthodox faith be glorified by Orthodox Christians, whether Greek or not Greek. thank you for watching this, and I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye, and may God be with you all, and may Saint David, the Great Komnenos, pray for us all.